Aujourd'hui, je vais parler whether I'd go to the touristy Mecca of Las Vegas. And for once, I might have to convince myself, or have my wifey convince me, instead of the other way around. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Aren't you a grumble, grumpy cat? Hey, XenPuck here. It's my favorite clip of the week, 'cause I've got a co-star in Mr. Fluffy. I'm gonna try to make sure he's comfortable, so long he doesn't run away. After all, these clips are barely 10 minutes long, and if I can't get him to sit still for this long, there'd be no chance we can train this cat to go on long walks with us. Or are you too old to learn new tricks in your senior cat? Oh, you're so cute and fluffy. Anyway, so I realized recently that all the potential travel destination videos that I've been talking about are my picks, right? And in at least half of them, I'm always talking about how I can possibly change my wifey's mind about said location. So today, instead, I'm going to daydream about a location that my wifey has actually clearly showed preference for, but that I personally, at least so far, is just kind of like meh on. And that said city is obvious by the title, I hope. Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City, Sin City. Okay, now back to our usual criteria-based breakdown. Location. Luckily, Las Vegas is not too far from us down here in Texas. Heck, I feel like unless you're on the East Coast, it's actually pretty easy to get to from a lot of places in the US, right? In the Midwest, in the Rocky Mountains, or the West Coast. And one major plus is that there's always flights, and flights are reasonably priced most of the time. I mean, this makes sense since basically the entire city is a man-made, kind of center of vices, and they really just want you to come check it out and indulge, right? And I guess that's a plus for others, but a minus for me, so far. Still, it's certainly a place people go to. Surprisingly, even my parents have gone, right? I am the lone holdout in my family. I hear it is extremely hot due to the location, but that, this is America, so I'm not that worried after all. It's not like anybody really goes to Vegas to see nature, right? So mainly people would be inside buildings and automobiles, so the heat probably won't be a huge deterrent. I don't think anyway, not even for me. Now, point number 2, food. Surprisingly, I hear Vegas is a great food destination, right? I mean, this makes sense since the city is all about tourism. And these days, I feel like its reputation is that it's gone quite upscale, right? So fancy hotels almost always equate to more adventurous and avant-garde food, impresarios being lured there. Now, I know my wifey generally likes the bougier places, so I can understand why she'd like this place. But for me, the place that I've been dreaming about is definitely more, let's call it, on the divier side, right? And the place that really comes to mind is the Heart Attack Grill. Okay, apparently known for making you sign a waiver upon entrance, about how you might get a heart attack because they take the fatty indulgence of like regular Americana food like burgers to their logical disgusting conclusions. By disgusting, I mean delicious, okay? I mean, I just peeked at their menu and they'll let you get like an octuple bypass burger with an optional 40 bacon slices. I mean, even if you think these are tiny bacon slices in one burger, that sounds ridiculous. I mean, I can't stop chuckling just thinking about it, but I also want one. Too bad they don't have salmon, or Mr. Fluffy would love that, right? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Oh, am I torturing you? Say it like a person. Say it like a person, Mr. Fluffy. Like when you're cleaning your butt. No? You don't want to do that? Okay. Now, point number 3, attractions. Now, here's mainly where my ambivalence comes from, right? Because to me, people go to Vegas to gamble, or am I just being old-fashioned, right? That's actually my wifey's argument. She says that she's been to Vegas and she never gambles and she just goes for the shopping and the shows. I guess that's the difference in perception, really, that I won't be able to resolve until we actually go there together, right? And maybe it's just because I'm afraid of being sucked into the casino floor and having my competitive irrationalness set in, and then I'm never going to want to leave until I come out a pauper. I mean, I don't really think that's it, because I think I've got a pretty good track record of self-discipline, right? Or maybe it's just the fact that all the attractions in Vegas are lacking in history and seem very, like, artificial to me. I mean, I know Mr. Fluffy would agree with me on this one, right? Because I know he wouldn't care about shopping or shows, and the nature here is just way too hot and not particularly unique, right? I will say this, though, while shopping does nothing for me, I wouldn't mind going to see some shows in Vegas, especially because, you know, my wifey and I, we now live in Texas, and while I love Texas so far, it's no New York City or Chicago. It's a much smaller city. Well, that sounds weird just when I say it, like Vegas equals culture, but it could be the case. Okay. Now, finally, we're getting to the X factor and whether we actually go. Now, I'm not really sure what would be an X factor, since to me, the entire Sin City is one giant X factor, right? I mean, its whole motto of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, to me, sounds very sophomoric, okay? I guess what I'd really consider an X factor, maybe like a celebrity sighting or something like that. But the thing is, it'd have to be a celebrity that I'd actually care about, not just somebody who would draw a crowd. I mean, these days, what most people consider celebrities, I mainly consider totally trash people or wasted spaces. I am talking about the Kardashians of the world, okay? So I don't know, I think Vegas will be hard-pressed to impress me on the celebrity front. And finally, you know, what is the realistic chance of us going? I think it's excellent because my wifey has stated that she wants to go back, and maybe she wants to really convince me that it can be fun, right? I mean, all my objections are really very theoretical in nature. Probably a good buffet, like a single good buffet, could change my mind. That's how much of an easy sell I am on food, and not even like fancy food. But that would involve my wifey actually schlepping it with me to the buffet. Oh boy. Buffets are totally not my wifey's thing. But then again, if we're going to Vegas, it's because she wants to go, so we can both compromise a bit, right? Now, I definitely think we will make it to Vegas also because unlike other destinations, Vegas is like purely like short trip filler, right? I mean, for once, I don't feel like, oh, in this city, I need a real local guide. I mean, this whole city is a glittering tower of human vices and capitalism, right? So there's no local version of it that I care about. Anyway, have you been to Vegas? What did you like or dislike about it? Tell me a story and comment, like, and subscribe, and all that social media nonsense. Cheers. I'll approach it.